What really happened to Lost Ark? To understand what went wrong and when, what led to current situation in this game, we need to go back in time. Lost Ark is a free-to-play MMORPG developed by Smilegate, released in Korea on December 4th, 2019, with release in North America, South America, and Europe on February 11, 2022 by publisher Amazon Games. Lost Ark features action-oriented combat system with huge number of amazing classes to play. Without any doubt, main highlight of this game are very good combat and interesting storyline. Storyline of the game will take you in the land of Arcasia. Players explore vast continents, engage in quests, and seek out the Lost Ark to battle demonic forces. The game includes activities like housing, sailing, and PvP combat in settings like the Colosseum. In endgame, you'll be able to enjoy in complex raid bosses, chaos dungeons for gear and materials, and much more. Regarding new updates and activity of developers, game is still very active, but there is a big difference in popularity of this game in Korea and globally. On Korean servers, Lost Ark is still doing actually really good. As you can see, I'm already here on official website of Lost Ark. You can see here developers are very active, and I can show here on ranking list of games in Korea. This is GameMecca.com overall ranking list of games, not only MMORPGs. You will notice here on position number 5, Lost Ark. And let me tell you right away, this is amazing position. Here on ranking list of games in Korea, there is a huge competition. Many amazing games are here. And Lost Ark is usually always here within top 5 games. Actually, since release of this game over there on servers in Korea, Lost Ark was usually within top 3 games. Currently, position number 5, which is still amazing. However, what is happening regarding global version of the game? You can see here, publisher of this game, Amazon Games, are also very active. All the time, some kind of new events happening in the game, new updates. Nevertheless, regarding number of players, you can see here, 24-hour peak, nowadays in 2025, 29,000 players. And of course, some number out of this number are bots. Now, this is a huge decrease from this number on the right side, 1.3 million players for release of the game. And before you say, hey man, that was a long time ago, because look, this game was released, well, almost 3 years ago on global servers. Yes, that is true, but still, this number here is too low. So what are the reasons that this game is failing globally? Let's talk about it. Before we start, let me just say, subscribe to my YouTube channel to see more videos in the future. Okay, so my story regarding Lost Ark have started a long time ago, because before global release, I already started to play Lost Ark on Korean servers. It was an amazing experience. We were waiting actually for a long time for this game to be released globally. Finally, in 2022, we have get this game released globally, and without any doubt, you can see it was a huge success. So what went wrong? Well, very fast after release of the game, you can see here this number of players, 885,000 players in June of 2022. Well, actually, these are not players. At this point in time, in June of 2022, game had more than 600,000 bots in the game. You heard right. Very soon, Amazon Games and Smilegate took certain measures, and you can see here decreased number of, actually not number of players, decreased number of bots. This here in September of 2022, 232,000 players would be much realistic number of players. Still, there were still some bots in the game. You should have seen how was that looking in the game. It was insanely bad. You could see swarms of the bots infesting the game. That was first major problem with this game. I wouldn't even say that pay to win was most important problem of this game, because let's be realistic, pay to win is here for most of MMORPGs nowadays in 2025, even from 2022 when this game was released globally. Well, most of MMORPGs, not all, but most of, were pay to win. That is not the reason why people would quit the game. Only if it would be like some hard pay to win, then people would quit the game. Nevertheless, bots were the first real problem of Lost Ark. Even today, when I'm looking this number, 29,000 players, I'm asking myself, wait, how many bots is still from out of this number. But still, there are many bots in the game. So Amazon Games and Smilegate did manage to resolve that problem, obviously to some point, because you can see this number here, 885,000 not players, bots, right? Most of the bots, and then decreased to this number, 600,000 bots in the game. That was in 2022. Nowadays, you can see here numbers are going down, which is kind of normal for 3 years old game. I'm talking about global version of the game, not about Korean. Game was released in Korea much earlier. Nevertheless, numbers are not looking good. Another reason, big problem for Lost Ark and why majority of the players did quit this game, including me, well, it was that daily grind on alts. So as you probably know, if you are a Lost Ark player, it's not enough that you play on your main character. I remember back then, like I said, I have played Lost Ark first on servers in Korea. Then I have switched to global servers after global release, and it was actually really enjoyable experience. Hype was real, it was really exciting, amazing combat, amazing storyline, beautiful game. It was interesting. Then after a while, of course, you needed to create alts. At one point in time, I had one main character and 5 alts. 6 characters overall. My daily routine in Lost Ark was to play Chaos Dungeon, Guardian Raids, and then some kind of events. There are always some kind of events in the game happening. That was really good, actually. And that content I need to play on each character. And it was becoming really boring. It was terrible experience to play each day on each character that repetitive content. Chaos Dungeon, Guardian Raid, event, another character, repeat again. Chaos Dungeon, Guardian Raid, again, and again. And it was terrible cycle to repeat, very boring, and eventually that made me and many other players to uninstall the game. Even with all the other problems of this game, which are, I have said already, bots, which are also, yes, pay to win to some way. I will not talk about pay to win now too much. I will not talk about pay to win too much because, like I said, pay to win is present in most of MMORPG nowadays. I'm not justifying pay to win, just saying that pay to win is not the main reason why we can see these low numbers and very high number of bots even now. Main reason is that boring, repetitive content in endgame. Playing on your alts so much all the time, same content every day, that basically on the end, well, you are forced to delete the game, to uninstall the game. That happened to me, but I can tell you right away, in my opinion, Lost Ark is still one of the most interesting MMORPGs ever created. Isometric perspective kind of game, which I don't like that much, but I have get used to that. I usually like to play normal 3D perspective kind of MMORPGs. Nevertheless, this game here, even with isometric perspective, amazing combat. Combat so good. It doesn't matter what class you play in Lost Ark. Combat will feel for you under the fingers amazing for any class. It doesn't matter what class you play. Also, beautiful graphic design. Absolutely beautiful graphic design for Unreal Engine 3. Another thing, amazing storyline. Many other interesting in-game features. Housing system. This game is really incredible. Sadly, endgame content is too repetitive, and 3 years after release, we can see these numbers. On one way, this decrease in number of players is natural, because like I said, Lost Ark is not anymore new game. Definitely not. It's not old game. I wouldn't call it very old game. 3 years since global release, much more from Korean release, but definitely it's not very old game. Still, 3 years, yeah, players are leaving to play other titles. Currently, we are living in some kind of nomadic, let's call it, gaming community, gaming world. Players are very fast moving from one game to another, and naturally, Lost Ark have loose players. To that fact, have contributed, like I said, pay to win, bots, and boring endgame experience. In general, even today, if you have never tried to play Lost Ark, I would highly recommend to you, check it out. It's a free-to-play game. Free-to-play game of very high quality. Interesting game with amazing combat. I can highly recommend to you if you have never tried to play Lost Ark, if you don't have anything else to play currently while we are waiting for some other new games. Many exciting new games are coming during 2025. You can check that on my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel dedicated to new upcoming games. There is so many good games coming during 2025, which I will cover, by the way. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until we get those titles, in the meanwhile, check Lost Ark. Yes, game is currently sadly not doing well on global servers, but I can show you over there on servers in Korea. Look at this. Lost Ark on position number 5 is still doing very good. There is a reason for that. Without any doubt, one AAA quality game, which even with time, I hope in the future, there will be some players to check it out. Sadly, with many issues, including, like I said, bots, some bots, right, not that much like in the past, and sadly, the biggest issue for me and many other players, that repetitive, boring content, which requires from you that you play on so many alts in endgame, it's just too terrible. Anyway, for today, just to let you know what is the truth behind the fail of Lost Ark globally, not on servers in Korea, because obviously over there on servers in Korea, Lost Ark is still doing pretty well. And this number here, if you think this number is good, it's not. Because like I said, look at this number on the right side. And never forget, this number here is not entirely true, right? There are still some bots in the game. Thank you for watching the video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitch and see you soon with another video.